growing up now, I'm like, I get it. There are certain things that I did not understand as a child, but now growing up and having gone through this journey, it's like, you just have to honor the emotions. In that present moment, whatever it is that you're feeling, honor it. I think I just had taken the decision that I want to be okay. I don't like feeling the way that I'm feeling.
We are back here again. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Switch On with myself, Carl Clark, a show curated to be the most beautiful love letter to our generation. It's the guidance you never knew you needed from the people you wanted to hear it from the most. Do me a favor, leave a review, share the moments that inspire you. I want to engage with you, and I want you to specifically look at this episode and tell me which part of this episode really blew you away. On today's show, we're sitting with South African powerhouse actor, singer, and mental health activist Mvelo Makhanya. We unpack the importance of mental health and why taking yourself seriously is a game changer. It's incredible to have her on the show, and I'm so honored that she's sitting right opposite me. It's time to switch on. Mvelo Nomvelo. Hello, my darling. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Kyle. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so excited to have you.
Finally, right? Because this has been...
It's been a drag. It's been in the works.
Yeah, it's been a drag. It's been like... I was meant to sit here probably 2 weeks ago, guys. But we're finally here.
Listen,
Thank you so much for having me.
Pass, it's festive. Hey, that's all we need to know. It's festive
and we're working.
season.
Work is very hectic. Like this COVID thing...
It's not it, eh?
It's not the one.
It's not it. I have to tell you, I didn't want to tell you as soon as you walked in studio. I've been following you for a very, very long time, and your journey has been so incredible to watch how you have cultivated your life into what it is today. Tell me about the last 5 years. What has it felt like for you?
The last 5 years, it's been an incredible...
Because you seem so different now.
I get that a lot, especially when people meet me in person. It's always like, oh, you're so different. So I'm like, yeah, guys, I'm an actress. Yeah. Also, like, I act as other people for a living.
It's so I'm not difficult for me to be myself 24/7.
Yeah, it's not necessarily myself, but I think the past 5 years for me have been an incredible game changer. In terms of like personally, I've been learning myself, like the things that I like, the things that I don't like, just myself as a person, at work, how professional I can get. Like there's just a lot of things. It's just been a lot of growth that has taken place. Yeah.
Number one lesson in the past 2 years.
Number one lesson in the past 2 years: always look out for yourself.
Wow.
Yeah.
And why has that lesson been something that's so prominent to you? Is it because you've experienced a lot of people that actually don't have your back?
Yeah. And also like there'll just never be anyone that will look out for you like you.
It's so true.
Yeah.
It's so true.
Always look out for yourself. You're the most important thing.
That's incredible. And is that your mantra that you wake up with every single day? Like, no. So what is the mantra? Give us the mantra.
The mantra I've always lived by has always been happiness is a choice. So that's what I wake up with every day. Like literally every day, I choose to just be happy.
That is so true. And I speak to a lot of people and they always try to sort of figure out from me, like, how do you stay so positive? How are you always so optimistic? And I'm just like, if you actually realize that your day is a choice every single day and you can flip it. Every single day
is a choice. Yeah. It's up to you. Like I could literally just like mess up your day by either not showing up or just doing something that you will not like, and you might get touched, but it's really up to you to decide that I'm not going to let that disturb me, and keep it moving.
That's incredible. I live by that mantra also. Happiness is 100% a choice. And it has been something that has actually catapulted most of my days, but I find it very difficult. Like for me, as soon as I'm in a bad mood and I try to switch it, it's always that transition from like sadness or let's say depression or anxiety to happiness is so difficult. So how do you switch it? How do you switch on, Mvelo? Like, tell us. How do you switch on?
There's no switching on, Kyle. Like, I think for me, one thing I've learned in my mental illness journey is the fact that you just have to honor the emotions. In that present moment, whatever it is that you're feeling, honor it.
Feel your feelings and do it anyway.
Like, just feel the feelings.
Feel your feelings and do it anyway. That's the most important part.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. Yeah, I think that's what it is for me.
Okay, so you speak a lot about mental illness and mental health, and I want to know, like, why has mental health become so important to you? You've been very vulnerable about your journey, and I have to commend you for that.
Thank you.
Why has it been so important for you?
So for those of you guys that did not know, in 2016, I was diagnosed with depression, bipolar, and anxiety. even then, like, you know, deciding that, oh, I'm going to go see a psychologist, I just wasn't okay. And I think I just had taken the decision that I want to be okay. I don't like feeling the way that I'm feeling.
Yeah.
And I want to try and understand where all these emotions are coming from.
And where they stem from, right?
Yeah, where they stem from. And then, you know, decided to see a psychologist, and who then referred, I think I saw him for like a few weeks. And then he just decided that, you know what, let's actually book into a psychiatric hospital. So then I was booked into a psychiatric hospital.
Really?
Yeah.
Is this public news?
Yeah, this is public news.
Oh, wow.
I've been
Why
very
did I know
open
this?
about
Oh, wow.
it.
Okay. Incredible.
Yeah, this is something I've never hidden this from anyone. I think just because speaking about our mental health is very important because it helps the next person. So yeah, I got into hospital for about, I think, 21 days. Yeah, it was about 3 weeks. Yeah, it was 3 weeks. I was there. There's a lot that I learned. So I think in all of that, when I came out, I just felt that it was important for us to keep relaying the message and keep teaching people about mental health. So honestly, that's why it's so dear to my heart. Just because we're not having enough conversations about it.
It's so true. I've said this on a couple of episodes before, actually, that, you know, our ancestors and our generations before didn't have a podcast to turn to, or didn't have a Carl Clock or a Mvelo to find out inspiration or information as to where they could get help. You know, these conversations were never had. You know, why have these conversations been so important? And why have they been so important to you, number one? And have you seen the impact personally within your fans? Like, have you seen you being so vulnerable with your story help as much people possible?
I get a number of DMs every single day that people either want to just vent out and tell me what's going on, or just how much I've changed their lives in just speaking. So I really feel like once I've done that, my job is done. Once I've touched you, I've done what I needed to do. Once I've taught you something in regards to mental health, that's I've
my
done
job is done. I can't go further than that.
I can't go any further than that. But there has been a number of supporters, like a lot of my supporters, that have come to me and said, yo, Mvelo, you have helped us a lot. And I guess that's why as well it's so dear to my heart. Like it's, for me, I really believe that my purpose is to teach, especially the young ones. It's to really just teach. And for me, once I feel I've done that, I've done all that I can.
Well, how do you manage everyone? I mean, because like 500k followers here, we're talking about
almost on 500k.
Almost on 500k. Like we're waiting for their 500k shoot. How do you manage all of your fans' problems? Because I'm sure they find you a safe space.
Sometimes I will always refer them to like psychiatrists, psychologists. There's always that, you know.
But are you very responsive on social media to people?
I am.
Okay.
I am. Some might feel that I'm not, but guys,
not.
I really can. I care. I receive a number of DMs on a daily, but you know, some might feel that I'm not responsive, but I actually am very responsive. And I guess being responsive also just helps the other person feel like, oh, okay, so I'm not the only person that's feeling this way. So it's okay for me to feel this way, you know? Yeah.
That's amazing, dude. How has your mental health journey negatively affected you in the past?
Sure. You're self-sabotaging a lot. You don't trust yourself a lot.
I mean, being open. Let's talk about being open and having that many fan base and being vulnerable and fragile to a lot of people. Has it ever had a negative impact by you being so vulnerable?
I think the one time where it had a negative impact, I wouldn't say it was, I think for me, I was just triggered at that time. Where I got bullied on social media. I think everyone knows about my story that happened. Yes, I know about that one. I think 2018, 2019. So that had taken place, and I think that really triggered me because I was bullied a lot in high school. So when this guy started bullying, so it triggered those emotions, and you know, it was just like an outburst on social media. It wasn't a very nice thing, but people still there, and even in that moment were like, shoo, we really appreciate you for speaking out, because people on social media are bullies, and people think they can just be keyboard warriors and just say whatever and think that it's not going to affect the next person. It's very important for us to be very mindful and just be kind.
And some people find that so difficult. And
I don't know why, because it really takes nothing from you.
It doesn't take anything.
Takes nothing from anyone.
What do you have to say to people that are keyboard warriors?
Just be kind.
Okay.
And also, like, I think the problem is with you. I think it's very important for that keyboard warrior to do some self-introspection.
True. Because hurt people, right?
Exactly. I was about to say exactly that.
Because hurt people.
I was about to say exactly that. Yeah, it's exactly that. The way bullies have things that they have not personally dealt with, and now they are basically projecting it onto you.
Let's go back into your childhood, because I believe mental health always stems from childhood triggers. I mean, if you take it a little bit further back, have you discovered in the past couple of years that it was never your present existence, but it was what happened to you previously that now made your existence what it is today?
I definitely do think so.
And what are those triggers that you could potentially talk about that could help the next person?
I don't know. I also just think it's genetic. I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Please dive in.
They might not agree with me, but I definitely do think that some of my mental illnesses are genetic. Like, with my bipolar, I do think that it stems from a certain side of my family. It's just obviously, I don't think anyone would agree with me. Also because why? We're uninformed. All these things are
not educated.
Things that are very taboo to speak about in the Black community. So it would be, no, it's just a white disease. It's just a white that. And it's just like, it's actually real life. So I do think that it's also it is genetic. I do believe that it comes from the one part of my family.
I completely agree. And a lot of people will disagree with you, but I completely agree. I 100% believe that mental illness.
Also, just because when I analyze behavior, I'm just like, okay.
Are you very observant?
I'm very observant.
I'm very observant. Like I can know as soon as someone walks in the room, first 5 minutes, I was like, this is gonna be a cool person, or it's not.
I can just tell already when you're walking. Like, that's what
it's
we're
you.
dealing with.
That's so crazy. I really do believe that mental illness is passed down genetically, because I mean, you find yourself. A lot of people, by the time you get to age 30, 35, somewhere around there, you find yourself mirroring actions that your parents did, and you don't understand why. You don't understand why. However, the choice is in your hands to be able to change that and to change for generations to come. Are there certain aspects besides you being bipolar in your life that triggered you a lot through the past couple of years? Let's say the past 2 years, that you were like, this is a childhood trigger. This comes from here. This comes from it. Do you ask yourself a lot of questions? Like, I
do. I think also just always wanting to impress people. I think that's also
why.
I think it's a childhood thing where, as the firstborn child, the attention is never on you.
Never, babe.
Never on you.
Never.
So I think little things like that, where you're just like, oh, it might be that I don't deal with. Oh, my dad treating me this way. Oh, growing up now, I'm like, I get it. There are certain things that I did not understand as a child, but now growing up and having gone through this journey, it's like, I understand why my dad handled things this way, or why my mom handled things this way. It's a childhood trauma for them, but now I need to then break that generational curse because I can't allow it.
So true.
So yeah.
I look back at my mom also. I mean, you've met my mom. I look back at my mom. There's many times that, I see the way that she deals with things, and then I always think to myself, like, now I actually know why she's dealing with things like the way that she did. Yeah. But when we were younger, we blamed them for everything. Yeah. It was always like our mom's fault or our dad's fault or someone in the family. But when we didn't realize that they didn't have any of these amazing platforms that I think you guys have, that has the opportunity to look for growth, and from an emotional level, a physical level, a mental level. A lot of people don't really understand that about mental health, So besides that, that's the only triggers that you could technically think of?
Right now, on the top of my head, Yes.
Have you read that book, What Happens to You by Oprah, or have you heard about it?
No, I've heard of the book, yes, but I haven't read it.
It's absolutely incredible. It really talks about
Should
childhood
I just go
triggers.
Next door
I mean, you can if you want to, as long as you're buying it for everyone that's listening at the same time, please. That's amazing, man. I'm so proud of you. Your journey has been really incredible. What do you hope to achieve by your organization?
Really, like I said, it's really just to teach. I'm hoping to just make a difference in my passion is more the youth than it is anything else, but if we can reach more people than what I want to reach, that's incredible. But it's really just to teach. I really just want to teach. That's it.
Is there any other ways that you can see yourself teaching in future?
Yeah, like there's a lot of things, like a lot of things I'm planning, even like going around schools, teaching kids, going around communities, teaching. There are also there's a lot of things that we're dealing with that no one wants to speak about. So I think it is very important for us to, as much as I'm teaching the youth, but to also teach their parents, because if the parent is not supportive, then, because when you're dealing with mental health, it's very important for you to have a very, very strong support structure. Without a support structure, everything else fails. So really for me, it's just to teach and teach and teach and teach until everyone just gets it and gets that this is a real life thing.
It really is.
I always look at how you get to a mall, there's always like, disabled parking for people that are physically disabled.
Yeah.
Why can't I park there? Because I'm mentally disabled.
Oh.
Why can't we treat our disabilities the same way people would treat people with physical disabilities?
So true.
You know?
It's almost like if you have a heart problem, you go to a heart surgeon or to a heart doctor, you know?
Exactly.
So if you have a mental problem, you should go to a psychologist.
Exactly. And it shouldn't be such a taboo thing or like she's
I'm
crazy.
going to go see a therapist. She's
gonna
crazy.
Go see a therapist.
Yeah.
No, guys, let's just
Yeah.
let's all just like calm down and just for me, really it's just to teach, Kyle, honestly.
And it's so crazy because back in the day, that's what they used to, the stigma was if you saw a psychologist, you were automatically labeled as someone that had problems, was crazy, or didn't know how to actually direct the course of their life, you know? Did you have that a lot? Especially checking yourself into...
Yeah, I think my I remember my mom didn't want to tell my family. Like,
really?
The rest of my family, it was just my immediate family that knew that I was in hospital. And it was always something that she wanted to hide. But for me, it was like, bro, you need to understand where I am, where my ancestors have positioned me and where God and the universe has positioned me. This is bigger than my purpose.
Oh.
I'm here to teach. So I need to be as vulnerable as possible. So I need to talk about it. You know, I need to talk about these things. It's very important for us to do so. And I remember how she'd be just very weird about it. Like, oh no, why are you going around talking to newspapers about your mental health? And it's like, to teach. Like, it's to teach.
If I'm not going to start it, who is going to?
Then who's going
to make it an open conversation? How many more suicides do we have to go through? You know?
Exactly.
How many more people have to scream in silence?
Exactly.
It's so insane. You talk about teaching. I'm about to ask you a very deep question. Are you ready? I'm about to ask you a very, very deep question. How do you teach people how to treat you?
True.
I mean, because you're so vulnerable. You're very vulnerable out there. So obviously people have to tread lightly and they need to know your triggers, especially your family. So how do you teach people how to treat you?
I treat them how I'd want to be treated.
But that's not always reciprocated, right? Which makes me so mad because sometimes I'm like the kindest person in the world and I expect that back and I never get it back. So
I'm very fortunate to really just always attract like really good people in my life. I don't want to lie. I have the most amazing family and friends. I don't want to lie. Like, I've got a really great support structure and I just feel like it's I don't even feel like I have to teach them how to treat me because
they already know. Okay.
And I don't know what it is. I don't know if maybe it resists the universe. Like, I'm gonna give you people that you need, you know. But I don't know. For me, I think it's always just I just treat people with kindness and just hope that I'll get that back.
And when you don't, how do you handle that?
I just distance myself.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you quick to cut people off?
Yeah.
Me too. I snip them in 5 seconds.
And that has been like a recent thing. I think from like last year, I think when this pandemic hit, there was just a whole lot of things where you're just like, I need to, there's a lot of self-introspection that needs to take place. There's certain people that I need to cut out of my life. And,
a lot of narcissism that was around, right?
Yeah, and I think from last year, I've learned to just not feel bad for cutting people out.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time when I cut people out, it's never really just the situation, it's just the principle.
Yeah.
And if you don't get that, then
there's no place for you in my life.
And if you're also not willing to do self-introspection yourself,
to come back. Thank you.
And then come back and say, shoo, dude, I see what I might have done wrong here. And it might be this, it might not. I don't know what it is that I might have done to you. And I'm so sorry for that. There's nothing I can do for you.
But that also goes back in the day because these type of issues were never spoken about. And it wasn't, if I did you dirty or did you wrong, I was never able back in the day to come to you and be like, you know what, Mvelo, I fucked up. And this is where I'm at right now. And I'm sorry I treated you in this specific way. There's no accountability around anyone these days. There's no sense thing of responsibility because people feel like it's shameful, you know? It's almost like you are a terrible person by taking accountability. But what people don't realize it actually makes them the biggest winner.
Exactly.
Like, I prefer people around me that take accountability.
There's nothing great than being the bigger person.
Oh,
it's like...
There's nothing better. And there's been many times in my life where people have crossed me and a couple months later, it might take me a long time to get over it. But I always go back and be the bigger person.
I will always let them in, of course. That's
I'll always
our
go
heart.
back and be the bigger person.
That's just your heart. And I don't think that should ever change who you are. That's just who you are, and to learn to accept it. Like, you'll get to a point where you're just like, you'll see someone for who they are, and you're just like, okay, this I don't want to deal with.
Yeah.
And you just cut them out in the end. I had a friend where, for years, like since high school, where sometimes we'd fight and then we're not speaking to each other, and we were in boarding school together and we'd live right next door to each other. But we weren't
You're like,
speaking
this is tricky,
we weren't
babes.
speaking for months, and then it would happen like constantly, like every year, like we'll fight, we're not speaking for like 6 months or 9 months, and even after high school we'd fight. This one time we fought, and it was something so stupid actually, but she was wrong. Like she was very wrong, like in that moment, and I was just like, so I drove off because I was upset. But we're at a funeral, so I drove off. But I was just driving off just to catch some breath because I was gonna smack someone.
Yeah.
So I drove off, and then when I came back, she was mad. She was telling everyone that I left her. I'm like, bro, I just went to go calm down. But after then, she wasn't speaking to me for like, I think she didn't speak to me for like a month or two. Even after I got home and I apologized and I explained where I was coming from with everything, the fact that I could still take accountability even though I was not wrong. I was still able to do that. But it was just a constant thing where I was like, after a while I was like, I don't think this is the type of friend I want to keep in my life. I think I literally only cut her off like last year. Yeah, it was just like, this is not what I want to deal with, especially with people that can't take accountability. And when you're upset at someone, you don't just choose to not speak to them for months. That's manipulative.
Yeah.
First and foremost, like that's extremely manipulative. So this is the energy that I don't want to deal with. So I don't deal with it.
And it's only taken you, like, let's say about a year and a half to finally cut people. Like, how did you survive with so many people?
I'm surviving.
around you?
I'm here.
You're surviving now.
I'm here.
You're surviving now. But before that, how did you survive with having all those people in your life and you couldn't cut them off?
Oh, I don't know.
Mvelo, we're getting deep today.
I really don't know how we did that. I don't know how. I don't know.
You actually look disgusted. You're like, I don't know how I went through that.
I don't know how I dealt with people treating me like that. I realized, guys, cut people off that treat you like shit.
Thank you.
Like, cut them off.
And walk away clean slate.
Walk away clean
No feelings.
slate. Yeah. Like I said, like if someone is not willing to take accountability, there's another childhood friend that I had cut out. We had been friends for like 22 years. I cut her out.
Wow.
And she ran to my mom. My mom was like,
what do you mean? What am I going to do?
I'm like, bro, why is she telling you? The fact that she couldn't even come to me and take accountability. And she's literally just down the road. So I don't know why she's coming to you and what she's expecting you to do. Her telling you it's not going to fix anything. Because still, you have not taken accountability. Yeah. You're just like, oh, it might have been this, it might have been that. But you're not coming to me and you're not coming to me and talking to me. So I can't help you. So, whatever. Like, whatever. Yeah.
Responsibility and accountability actually plays in so many different categories of our life. And that can come in mental health. That can come in relationships between two people. That can come in any different aspect. A physical aspect. You have to take accountability for so many different things of your life that you have power of. True. How have you taken your power back besides taking accountability? But like, what is the one thing that like, okay, last year I took my power back. I was all me. I didn't allow people to, disgruntle my road. How did you take power back?
Sure, a lot of things happened to me last year.
Really?
So yeah, a lot of things have happened. Like I lost a whole lot of friends, like a lot of friends last year. I was in a relationship for a good 4 years. We broke up. Wow. So I was dealing with a lot of things. But I think more than anything, that period by myself just taught me that, guys, it's so important to just be your own individual and just choosing not to deal with things that you don't want to deal with. That's really how
without feeling guilty, right?
Yeah, that's really how I've taken my power back.
Did guilt used to...
Yeah, it used to be a thing that, I've been friends with this person for so long, so we need to remain friends. So we have to be friends. And
because our moms are also friends.
Because our moms are also friends. And, but for me, it's just like, I don't, even with family, it's not just with friends. I do not deal with anything I do not want to deal with.
That's amazing.
Like, I'm so sorry. If you're affecting my mental health, oh no, spike.
It's not going to happen.
It's not happening. It's really not happening. I refuse for anyone to just mess with my mental health. I'm like, like days are different, I have really good days, then I have really bad days. And on really good days, I'd really just like to just, what's the word I'm looking for? Embrace them.
Yeah. And stay in that space.
Yeah. And just staying in that space if I can, So yeah, I don't deal with things that I don't want to deal with.
That's amazing. A lot of people actually
Especially
don't.
negative things. Like if
Yes.
you're gonna come into my space and be negative,
Then no.
bro, get out. Like I'm not
That's
dealing
like
with you.
That's like the first 10 minutes for me. As soon as I get into a conversation with someone that's brand new to me and there are negative things coming out of their mouth, I'm just like,
I'm
no,
not
thank
dealing
you.
with
And it could be
that.
about your own personal
Yeah,
life,
it
but the fact
really-
that you're dealing with your
but
life in that way, I'm like, no, that is
I
not.
can't do that. Yeah.
I'd
No.
rather have no friends and be alone
Yeah.
completely than have people that are there to suck energy
Exactly.
out of me.
Yeah.
A lot of people have drained a lot of energy out of you in the past year, hey? And you seem 10 times more powerful than you've ever seemed before, because I've been watching you for the longest time. And I mean, you know, it's crazy to watch your journey from where you were to what happened to you last year
yeah.
to where you are now.
yeah.
You know, the transition has been insane for you. I'm sure such a freaking emotional roller coaster. Hey? What a
But
roller
that's the
coaster.
thing with-
That was not a confidence booster.
That's the thing with healing. I realize, you know, healing is like
Because you're a wounded healer.
yeah. Like, you know, healing it's an everyday thing. You're literally healing every single day. You're dealing with whatever life is throwing at you, and you're learning, you're healing, you're learning, you're healing, you're learning, you're healing,
Yeah.
and it makes you stronger. I think just being self-aware of everything around you is very important.
And not a lot of people are self-aware, hey? And none of them, they're not as self-aware of themselves or actually what comes out of their mouth and how it makes the next person feel, you know? Especially if you're in like a negative space
yeah.
consistently, you actually don't realize how you affect the people
other
in the
people,
room
yeah.
at the same time. And do you find, I mean, I find it personally, people that are openly negative, that want to blurt their problems out and throw it out onto the floor in like, let's say a studio
project
setting and
yeah.
project, and it affects the next person next to it. I'm always like, how selfish are you actually?
Yeah, you know, when I'm in a very negative space, I would rather just not be around people.
If I can't do it, I won't, eh?
I would rather just be at home by myself and just sulk and be negative on my own, and
Thank
then suck it up and get over it after that.
That's insane.
Because at the end of the day, you gotta keep it moving.
Exactly. In 365 days from now, what is life like for you?
In the next 365 days, let's see, that's a year from now. I would probably have probably these braces probably would have been no, it will happen actually. I want to get into radio, so if Thibaut Touch is listening to this, can I please have a job?
I mean, I have his number, so I'm just gonna send him a
I
WhatsApp
know
right
Touch.
now.
No, I know him
like,
personally.
I'm like, hey, when
I
I
definitely
please,
know him
can you give us
personally.
both jobs actually at the same time?
So I definitely will be working for Thibaut Touch. I don't know how, I don't know when,
I dig
but
Thibaut.
it's
He's
definitely
amazing.
going to happen.
Okay.
He's an amazing man, amazing ball of energy.
He really is.
He's incredible. Touch's mind is it's
Unreal.
beautiful. It's so beautiful. So that's definitely just putting this out into the universe.
Speak it out into the universe, dude.
So I will be working for Thibaut Touch a year from now.
Amazing.
I will be doing more Netflix films. There was one that came out this year. Exciting stuff.
Yes.
So I might just get 2 more next year, 2 more leads, just to shake it up a bit. I see myself doing an international movie. I also see myself getting an international agent. I kind of feel like I've kind of
You've met your quota in South Africa.
I've hit the wall in South Africa. And yes, I have not done a lot of work, but the work that I've done, I feel
Speaks volumes.
It speaks volumes. And, it's been 9.5 years in Scandal. There's been a whole lot of other things.
Lindiwe's been there, hey?
She's been around. So
She's
there's been a whole lot of other things that a whole lot of other work that I've done. And I feel like it's been enough. And I feel like, the internationals are calling me.
It needs to come.
Yeah, it's coming. So, and I'm getting into music. It's happening, guys.
You are?
I know I've been saying this for a really long time. Yes, it's something I just want to feed my soul.
Amazing.
Yeah, I really just want to feed my soul.
incredible.
And I think it's time. I really think it's time. I've been working a little on it this year, but I really feel like hopefully I can give you guys a single next year. So.
Or maybe an EP, a young EP,
Yeah,
you
maybe
know?
like 3-4 songs. Yeah.
34 songs.
3-4. Like,
Oh, I thought you said 34 songs. I was like, hey.
No.
We are very optimistic in the
Not
studio.
like that.
We are
But
very
yeah, maybe like
optimistic.
3-4 songs. But and I just see myself just growing in my art and in my craft. More theater work. I'd like to go back to school, for you guys that know.
Genuine, I just literally enrolled and I'm 31 on Friday. And I don't feel any regrets. And I'm studying psychology and I'm so excited.
I didn't finish my psychology course, but I feel like I should probably go back. I just don't like Yeah, I like practical stuff. So it just
Do
feels
you?
like
Is the theory stuff is
the
a little
theory
bit
that
tricky?
it's a bit tricky. So even what I want to go to culinary, but it's expensive. But if anyone is willing to donate some cash,
I mean, come on.
I won't say no.
I ain't gonna say no.
I'm not gonna
all.
say no, and I promise you, I'm gonna pass with flying colors. Like,
Yeah, guys,
I'm a really great cook. So
Yeah,
if anyone
Fundi
is
Fund
willing,
can come through now. Hey,
you know.
Fundi goes a long way.
Yeah, but that's something I really want to do, and hopefully I can do all of what I've mentioned in a year from now. Also, I just want to put this out to the universe as well. I want to work for Cheddar Pictures and Ferguson Films.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been the two biggest
I love
people I want to
Ferguson.
work with. So yeah, that's what's gonna happen a year from now.
Speak it into existence.
It's
You
going to-
obviously believe in manifestation.
It's gonna happen.
And
a
it's so
year
true
from
because that
now.
happens to me all the time. As soon as I say something a year from now, I'm just like, whoa.
The tongue is powerful.
Yeah.
I realize it's very important for us to speak out the things that we want.
Yep.
Oh, and money. Money's coming my way too.
Abundance, please.
In abundance.
A lot
you
of
know?
abundance.
Yes,
I
yes,
spoke
yes.
about the show actually about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm going to have a podcast show that's going to interview incredible celebrities specifically about self-help
look at
because
you
it's never
now.
happened. And look where we are today.
Yeah.
You know, and it's been such an incredible ride. So manifestation for me is huge. And I so believe in the power of the tongue. And if you're self-aware and you know what actually is coming out of your mouth at the
Yeah.
same time, you'll be able to speak things
Yeah.
into your life.
Yeah.
Have you always done that?
I think for me, I think I've been learning that. I think like having come out of hospital and finding like different ways to just calm the mind, calm the soul. It's just like, oh, you're gonna do some yoga and meditation, and then in that comes a lot of a lot of learning about self, and you realize, oh, there's manifestation, there's praying, there's that, and then I've never been that kind of person. I think it's only now where it's just like, oh, okay, there's something called manifestation. Oh, and yeah.
Tell us about your faith, Mvelo.
My faith. So I grew up Christian. I come from a Christian home.
Is religion important to you at this point?
Is religion important to me? Huh. My mom listening to this would be, hey,
please
my
don't,
child.
eh?
Is religion important to me? I feel like religion... No, it's not religion. Religion is important, yes. It's just then Christianity that then boxes people. Yes, it's exactly what I wanted to say. Yeah. So I am very religious. I believe in God. I believe in my ancestors. I believe in the universe. I don't know so much about being a Christian. Yeah, I'm more spiritual more than I am a Christian. Yeah, but
And there's nothing wrong with that.
and
hey?
absolutely. And as I'm growing up, I'm learning that.
Yeah.
I'm learning that. Oh, there's different types of. And
because they preach that in church all the time.
Yeah.
You can connect to God whenever
Exactly.
you want to.
can
So
connect
why
to
do I have
God
to be at church every
anyhow.
Sunday?
Exactly. I could literally be at home and praise God, and that's still okay.
Because your relationship is yours.
My relationship with God is my relationship. So yeah, I'm more spiritual than I am religious.
And
pretty
how
much.
has your faith seen you through in the past couple of years? Because I did ask you about
Yeah.
your faith.
A lot of the times, like you go through things and you realize how tough it is. But for me, in as much as I will be going through certain things, I know God's got me. Like one thing I never fail, and I always tell people, Kushubile right now, but I know God's got my back because God has always seen me through. Every single time. I could be literally in a dark hole right now and I'm like, I do not know how I'm going to come out, but I know God's got my back because He's always gotten my back.
Because sometimes you actually cannot see further, like past your nose, actually. And that's how dark it actually gets.
Yeah.
And you have to have some sort of belief that God's got your back.
God's always got your back.
And there's always a bright side. There
Of course.
always is a bright side.
Always.
And the circle around you, Mvelo, like you've cultivated a lot of beautiful people around you.
I've got the most beautiful people around me. I've got incredible friends that have become family. The list is endless. Nozugo, Kanyisile, Zukiswa, Smiso, Dali, George, Mishali, Jabu, Zuzile. They know, like for anyone that I'm missing, Bongega, Olami, anyone that I'm missing right now. But you guys know, like I've got such an incredible group of people around me. We're so connected, like in every form, like everything is aligned. Like we believe in God. We can pray together. When things are tough, we pray. When things are great, we pray. When things are however, we pray. Like I've got an incredible circle of friends. I don't want to lie. I'm blessed.
It's really important to have those people around
very,
you.
very blessed.
What is the one thing that your followers don't know about you?
One
One thing.
One thing my followers don't know about me, I'm actually very quiet into myself.
Really?
Yeah.
Seem like an extrovert?
I think I'm like an extroverted introvert or an introverted extrovert.
Got you.
Yes.
Homebody, but when has to be out,
I
has
have
to be out.
But when I'm out, also I get a lot of social anxiety.
Really?
Yeah, like just
Me
like,
too.
oh, I don't want to be out. Why are we here?
I gotta go home.
Who's gonna be there where I'm going? Is there anyone that I know? You know, like I don't like being out. Like I prefer. Obviously, I'll be out because work required. Like right now, I have to be out.
Yeah.
I needed to leave the house.
Yeah.
But it's just like if I don't have to be out, I would rather just not be out.
I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Yeah, but I'm very to myself. I'm very. You're
a homebody.
Yeah, I'm a homebody.
That's why you keep your circle small and your faith is
Yeah.
super strong, and that's what you've built over the years. It's so incredible to have you in studio today. We're about to wrap up, and I can tell you, like, everything that you put out there and everything that you have been saying has manifested into your life, and watching your journey has been remarkable, dude.
Thank you so
Absolutely freaking remarkable. I have goosebumps underneath this
I know,
jacket,
right?
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for being on the show.
you,
And thank you so
Kyle.
much
Thank
for
you
being
for
so
having
vulnerable
me.
and
Thank
fragile with
you.
all of your followers. I'm sure they
you.
appreciate you
Appreciate it.
so much.
Yes.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And don't forget, leave the moments that inspire you. Whatever Mvelo said in this episode today, please, I want to hear, because you guys engage in the comments a lot and you always tell us, from 11:38 to 12:37, that is the moment. So please let me know exactly what inspired you. And we're so excited and so happy that you guys are still on this journey with us. We have a couple of more episodes coming out. I'm telling you, this one is for the books, and we've been trying to do this for the longest time.
Of course.
So leave a review. Don't forget, you can stream the episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or you can watch the entire show on the YouTube channel. Thank you to the entire Switch On team. We love you so much. And you can follow Mvelo on all of our social media platforms, that @_Mvelo Makhanya. We will put all of our socials in the links down below. Thanks for listening, and thanks for watching.